We celebrate President's Day to honor and commemorate the contributions and achievements of past U.S. presidents. It's a day to reflect on their leadership and the impact they had on our nation. It's also a time to appreciate the importance of the presidency and the role it plays in shaping our nation. Plus, it's a great opportunity to learn about U.S. history and the individuals who have held the highest office in the land. Here are 10 interesting facts about U.S. presidents that the average person may not know. Number 1, did you know that President John Quincy Adams regularly skinny dipped in the Potomac River? Number 2, President Thomas Jefferson had a pet mockingbird named Dick. Number 3, President Abraham Lincoln is the only U.S. president to have held a patent. He invented a device to lift boats over shoals and obstructions in a river. Number 4, President Calvin Coolidge had a pet raccoon named Rebecca who would roam around the White House. Number 5, President Franklin D. Roosevelt was the first president to appear on television. Number 6, President Herbert Hoover and his wife spoke Mandarin Chinese fluently. Number 7, President Richard Nixon was an accomplished pianist who could play 5 musical instruments. Number 8, President Jimmy Carter was the first U.S. president to be born in a hospital. Wow. Number 9, President Ronald Reagan was a lifeguard during his high school and his college years. And number 10, President Barack Obama collects comic books, especially those featuring Spider-Man. The next list is of presidents who have varying levels of wealth, with some being born into affluent families and others accumulating wealth through their various means. It's fascinating to see the different financial backgrounds of our past American presidents. Adjusting for inflation, here are the top 10 richest presidents in American history. Number 10, Donald Trump. Number 9, John F. Kennedy. Number 8, FDR. Number 7, Herbert Hoover. Number 6, Lyndon B. Johnson. Number 5, James Madison. Number 4, Andrew Jackson. Number 3, Theodore Roosevelt. Number 2, Thomas Jefferson. And the number 1 richest president in American history, according to inflation, George Washington. Hey guys, if you've made it this far, it's time for a 5-player multiplayer. I'm going to be repping Barack Obama in this game, who has a Benjamin Franklin vice president. I'll boost my high tech, my youth movement, and it looks like Joe Biden is going to California, Donald Trump in Texas, and we are going after them natties. So let's go ahead and finish off women's movement and youth vote. We'll have $0 remaining, and if all goes to plan, we may end up having to move over to labor and environment, because California, Texas are taken. Florida is open, as is New York, so I could go for that African-American bonus, because it would give me a whopping 150 without the vice president. I'll have to take a look here with the VP, but it's juicy. However, in 5-player multiplayers, if we're going to commit to natties, I like going for all 3. If it's uncontested, just as might as well maximize that cash. Hopefully this game goes longer than like 15 turns, somewhere in that 18 to 20 turn range, so I can get back the value on the national groups. And it looks like that New York is still open. However, Florida is now occupied. So we have one player going swing states. We have another player going high tech, that being Joe Biden. That's going to be the player that I try to isolate. When I say isolate, I want to focus on him so that I can outmaneuver him, inherit all of his states, and hopefully no one comes in and swoops California out from under my nose. Now, I'm going to have to beat him into New York, which I will do probably in the next turn or 2. Let's look at the board here. So he's just a little bit away from high tech. He's go up in Connecticut to get there. So hopefully we're going to be able to steal a state. Let's go for Massachusetts. We'll end my turn here on turn number 5 as Donald Trump 2024 is going up in the Old South. He's also going for swing states. Margaret Thatcher and Donald Trump have very, very similar colors, and this absolutely sucks, 270. Please fix this. I hope it does not come down to those two and me. That would be a nightmare scenario. I'm going to go ahead and finish this here. Oil and gas and manufacturing goes over to Trump. So even though I have no interest in overtaking, maybe I can make him overspend if I pressure in his oil states of Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana. I'm also going to go up in New York, and I'm going to try to overtake here in New Hampshire as well as Utah. I'm not going to defend Massachusetts. Margaret Thatcher continues to creep up in big conservative, and now there is pressure in Florida. So it looks like Biden is kind of hedging his bets between town and gown and high tech, and we are not able to steal New Hampshire. We do have a clash in Ohio, a clash in New Hampshire, and looks like Donald Trump will continue to go up in Tennessee in the southeast. But the big thing at the end of that turn was Utah. Utah was locked by Biden. So we did spend a lot of free cash there. Both players spent free cash. Let's go ahead and lock Massachusetts, and we're going to lock Louisiana. That's a bit unconventional, but let's see if we can take some money away from Donald Trump, which we do. That oil and gas money will force him to have to go after the smaller oil and gas states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Alaska, and will not allow him to pivot over to California. So that was the 40 chess move there. Plus, I need some EVs. So we're double pipping a lot of the open states. However, we're going to have to single pip a couple. I'm about to back off of Indiana and Kentucky so I can afford Ohio. And then I'm only single pipping Hawaii. Hopefully, that'll give us enough states entered into so we can force a ballot. However, we do not have 100 EVs locked in. And so we're going to have to continue this game. Now, we're not facing a ton of pressure, and now we have 132 EVs. We are safely ahead of Margaret Thatcher, ahead of other players. So unless something dramatic happens, I don't see us being out. We're going to overtake Biden again in Delaware and Vermont, and I'm going to enter into Maryland. Connecticut, we did not lock. We went to the 9th pip, and it was a successful steal, so that will help us. We did get to the 3rd pip in New York, which is going to be critical later on as Margaret Thatcher and Donald Trump continue to wrestle into Texas. Turn number 9, we have 84 EVs. Biden is the low man, but we have Trump in danger of losing Texas. We're going to get to the 2nd pip in a few states that we were only at 1. And we are going to see what happens with the rest of the players. Our Maryland steal is successful. Again, that will knock down Biden. However, we have to be careful of, there it is, Thatcher taking Texas from Trump, who actually forfeits. So that will delay a ballot just a little bit here as all the states he was in go to the previous owner. And then we automatically have to wait one more turn after a forfeit in order to get to another ballot round. Let's enter into Illinois. It's a lot of EVs. It's African American. It's Latino. It's just an important state. It has 5 state bonuses attached to it. Pennsylvania is a little bit too far gone to seriously consider stealing that, but I will get into any important state this late in the game that I'm not yet into. Biden gets into Missouri and Minnesota, and there is the flip of New York. So that is pretty big. That's going to give him high tech, give him town and gown. Oil and gas does go over to Margaret Thatcher, who now occupies Texas, and there is so much pink on this map. I am really having a hard time deciding who is who. So we're going to get into Alabama and Mississippi, make Donald Trump spend that old South money that he's been hoarding. He is definitely saving some buku bucks here. Look for him to make a move in California. There it is. Illinois is up to the 6th pip.
Michigan up to the 5th pip as Biden forfeits. Interesting. It's almost like he wanted to put the screws to me and then leave. Not cool. Not cool at all. However, I still like my position in this game. I have New York. It's on the 4th pip, so I'm highly unlikely to face any pressure. I need to get into Florida for some possible African-American or swing states later on. Also, all eyes on California. I think it's highly likely that Donald Trump goes all out for California, which really won't net him a bonus. If maybe one bonus, but no, nothing. Okay, so just all those EVs. So we need to get into Texas. Let's do that now. We're already in Florida. I could go for a big steal. Let's go Michigan. I have a feeling both players are going to go to the 10th pip, which if they do, we would successfully steal at the 9th pip. Where else can I spend my $395K? Oregon, Washington. Let's go Colorado. Ohio's too expensive. I don't see anything else that's super obvious. Now, facing pressure in Indiana and Kentucky. So let's go up 2 pips there. And then overtaking North Dakota. This is not a ballot round, but I'm treating it like it is. So I can force Margaret Thatcher to really overspend, but that really hurts. That clash in Michigan will result us going way back. However, most of our other steals are successful. And we do get a clean entry into Texas. Our Washington steal failed, but we're down to 192 EVs. Looks like Thatcher's at 165. Donald Trump is probably pretty safe at 181. Let's see who I can attack here. Need to attack Thatcher. At 410. Thatcher's probably going to attack me in lots of places and not defend much. So I think this Washington move will be pretty safe. I can save the rest of my money and roll that into when I have to go up against Trump. I can go up in either Texas or Florida. And it's getting pretty dicey here. This Washington move is going to have to pay off, and it does. So we are saved by the chin of our chinny chin chin, the hair in our chinny chin chin, which Barack Obama doesn't have much hair, but enough to squeak us by. Going to go up in Illinois, Pennsylvania. There's clean states in Alaska and South Dakota. So we're going to need to enter into those to get a ballot sooner rather than later. Also, District of Columbia, Illinois, Florida, Maryland, Delaware, and New York is enough for African American. Pennsylvania, Washington, Maryland, Massachusetts, that'll be enough for high tech, which at this point it's all about EVs and not the bonuses. So we have 901,000. He's likely going to flick Pennsylvania here with his swing state money. I'll defend Florida. Go up in the other states here that need to go to the 2nd pip, including Texas. All out in Arkansas because he has all that old South money. I'll have to put it there. And then that will leave me about 6 pips worth of defense in Pennsylvania, which again is likely to fall. Arkansas. Oh, Florida. So he did flip Florida, but he can't flip Florida and Pennsylvania, can he? No. Okay. So that's a wrap. That's a good game. Hope you enjoyed this President's Day stream. If you're working, that's unfortunate. Most people are off. Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next 270 video.